Well, it's working on the garage a little more. This garage door was messed up. This is the lock here. They just had it bolted open, and I've got it all cleaned up and locked. I pulled the seal off of it. I got another one here. It's not the right one, but I got it down and locked, and I just took some insulation for 3/4 inch hot water pipe, put in there. It looks like I've got a little gap up there. This thing here might work for that, but anyway, it made a big difference in here. Nowhere near as cold, and I've got the door locked where it can't be opened at all. I can pull that down, put a screw in it, then it'll work normal. But I'm not going in and out with the door anyway. And I can feel a difference in here already. I still got a lot of stuff to clean up and paint. And I had a dryer vent hole here. I just put a bunch of plastic in it. I've got to put me another line in here. It goes over to the house for the dryer. Cutting my pile down a little. Got me a couple of little heaters here. Anyway, here on the Dodge, I'm going to have to pull these front wheels off and clean those brakes up. I noticed driving it in, it was a real bitch. And I noticed when I had all the stuff in here, I only had about 1 inch of travel before it bottomed out. So I don't like that thing there either, the way that looks. So I got to cut up some of this and make it right. I'm going to put a fake gas can or a filler lid in here. This was something, this fuel tank was just something I threw in for now. I don't know what I'm going to do about this, but I do know I have to. I looked on eBay for ways to raise it S10, and they got a shackle kit. So what I'm going to do is, you can kind of see the shackle hanging down there. I think that's the shackle. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is get a 1/4 inch by 3 or 4 inch long piece, and clean those shackles up and cut them, and just weld a piece in there rather than trying to spend $100 for a kit. I'll just weld one up. And that'll raise it a few inches. That may be enough. I've still got a bunch of boards I found here. Found a really nice little junk store. I paid $1.50 for each one of these boards. It's amazing, you know. But I got to get this milling machine out of the way. I'll put it over here somewhere. Then I can clean up all this mess here, put my electric back in my electric box, make one. Just get rid of some of the stuff out of my way. I got plenty of room here to walk by it. I could tell it made a big difference plugging that door. It's kind of warm in here right now, well, compared to what it was. what I decided to do with this, I got these headlights here that mount into a ball and socket, and not really fitting in there good, but you get the idea. I'm just going to mount this in here, and I could still adjust my headlight up and down and side to side, and I'll probably put a visor or something over it. There, they don't look too bad, and kind of a unique way of mounting it, but I think that'll work. I'll probably have to cut a little piece out of this side back here because it's going to hit that original adjuster, but I don't care about that. So finally got the lights figured out. I don't know how they're going to look, but I'll have good lights. And that's the main thing. I haven't even opened the hood yet. I know I need to put another brace on this fender right here on the inside. And I've been thinking about some way of taking this bottom half of a windshield, trying to make another one. I found one on eBay. It doesn't say what it is. 30s windshield, and it kind of looks the same. I'm going to take some measurements and see if it's pretty close, but it's got glass in it. It's got a crack in it somewhere over in the corner, but that shouldn't hurt it. And the rest of this, I think I'll just use Lexan for sure for the back window. That'll be easy enough to do. Those seats, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. You know, they're going to kind of interfere with the window there a little. Here's my cheering section. Anyway, that's the plan. I got to raise it. I need to take those brakes off of here on the back too. Fix them. That'll be the first thing. Get the brakes fixed and raise it up. Move on from there. Well, here's Mr. Milling Machine. I'm trying to figure out where to put it. If I put it up against this wall, it's going to stick way out into this area. The motor goes on there. It's about a foot long. It'll come out to about where these boxes are here with the knobs and stuff, and it'll make it really hard to try to work on something sticking out this far. So I fooled around, and I figure I can turn it where these pulleys go in towards that wall and put it in this area right here. This piece here, the cross feed or slide, is going to be out past the edge of this, probably right in here somewhere. And I'm going to try to get the same height as I've got. It's about right. These are my boards I got, so it looks like I can put it on that one piece right there. It's a 2x12. I thought about cutting it down, but that's all in there pretty good and solid. I can make a couple stands for this board here right in this area, a couple studs, and put another leg on it I'm pretty sure that 1-inch particle board is going to be strong enough to hold it. So that's what I'll do. I'll notch that board up there so it'll slide down over that 2x4, and then I can put a couple studs, braces right here on this center 2x4, and I can make a table. The only thing that might interfere with is this door opening, but I'm really not too concerned about that. I don't really need a back door. I mean, it's kind of nice to have one. I could go outside and work on something, but the main thing is I got to get this thing in there and out of the way. And I know by experience that running into these things with your hip or your back or something is kind of painful. Plus, I just want to get it out of the way. This thing gonna make chips and make a mess, so looks like that's where it's gonna go. I'll just rotate it 90 degrees and get it up in that hole. Then I'll have to cut down my bench most likely, but I think this will be pretty good for putting up all my shelves for the cutters and all that stuff. Main thing, try to make this table, at least I think it's going to fit here. Well, I made me a table. I used that particle board. It wasn't big enough, and so I put this 2x6 dovetail stuff in there. I got it in pretty good and solid. I got it braced in the middle. I can mark the hole there. I've run the carriage all the way over here to where it's clearing the wall. It's at the maximum right now. So that's basically where that's got to go. I can cut off, I started cutting off this board. The angle brace is right in here. So I'll try to cut I will cut the rest of these boards off of here. I don't know if that, that motor here from the pivot to the top of the motor, that's about 24 inches, and 24 inches is somewhere in this area. Hopefully I'll have enough room to get the motor in there. I can't move it anymore that way. I may have to get under here and redo this brace. I don't really see how I can, because that one there is going down into the floor joist. I guess I could put another 2x4 here in, move the whole thing over. Be a little bit of work. It wouldn't be as strong, but I think I can probably get it done. But I'm just going to cut it right now and see if I can somehow get that motor in there. Don't know. I measured it. It don't look like I have a hell of a lot of room, but I really won't know until I muscle it in there and cut some of this out. It's going to have to go all the way to the wall. Anyway, I'll press on and see what I got. You know, I was able to drill a 1/2-inch hole, take my Sawzall and hogged it out. I think I'll be alright with that. Now we'll see if the thing will go in. Well, I got some half success. I got it pretty close to where it goes there. I got to rotate that bottom piece 90 and probably put a pry bar in there and turn it. It's way too close to the machine now for that belt. I mean, a good solution would be to change the belt, but I looked at this once before. It don't look like it'd be easy at all to take all this stuff out to put a belt in. It looks like maybe I might be able to get away with cutting a notch in that board. I'm not sure, but it's going to go in about another 1.5 inches or so, so I may be good. Anyway, I'll try to get that rotated around and a couple bolts in it, and we'll see where we're at. Well, here we go. I've got 3/8 of an inch there. I took the opportunity to grind that out a little bit so the belt cleared. It was hard to start in the morning or when it's cold. Anyway, it's got 3/8 over here. I don't know how much travel I got in my slide, but cutting a corner of this thing off is not a big deal. Should run good. I tested it. That's a converter. Zooming right along. Goes down to, I guess that's probably about 30 RPM. All the way up to 10, I don't know what that is. Works fine. Now all I gotta do is figure out some way to get me a light in here. I should have painted all this stuff first, but I didn't. But at least it's in. It just perfectly fit. Call it a day. Well, here we go. I got a little 8-inch by 18-inch little cheap Chinese lathe. I just took it all apart there to get it up here on this table and then get it up there. But it's got metal gears in it, which is good. I did a little testing on it. It needs to be adjusted, but made me a table here, and I think I'm good with that. I left a little piece here so I can come out with another table edge if I have to. Boy, wood's really cheap here. These 2x4s are $3 a piece. They're like $8 from where I come from. But anyway, I broke down the chuck, got it off, and one good thing about this lathe, it's got like a 1.25 inch through hole. The chuck's pretty good. I haven't tested the run out or anything, The cross slide here, I couldn't figure out how to change this angle on this, but it turns out what you do, there was no instructions. You just back it up far enough, and there's a, or go forward, backwards or forward, and there's two bolts that bolt this thing down, and that's how you adjust the angle of the cross slide. Again, I had to take all that off there. Not too impressed with the machining on it. It's alright. I'm going to have to slow the feed rate down. And it's probably going to be in these gears. I think right now it's probably feeding slow as it can. Here's a, oh, I don't like that. I'll have to make some adapters and stuff so these gears will be good. It was going little to big, and then inside there, little to big, little to big. I don't know, I'll have to look at the charts and see what's see if I can slow it down. It's way too fast actually for the to make a real smooth cut. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's got a guard and a bunch of stuff that goes on it. I took it all off just so I could move it. But it's pretty heavy. It's probably about 200 pounds or more than I could pick up by myself. But I was able to put a bar through here, and got Nastia to help me. She picked up the little end and I got the big end. We got it up on the table. Now I guess I can put it all back together and bolt it down and see what I got. Well, I set the lathe up here again. So I'm trying to, this is a 1/10,000th. It looks like it's got about 5 10,000ths out. And that's what it's showing here. Five or 6 10,000ths. And what I've got is a little milling machine bit. I'm pretty sure that's straight. It's probably not even showing you, but that's what it looks like. 5 10,000ths. So it's not the best in the world, but it's not entirely bad. Well, I just turned a little piece of 5/8 hot rolled stuff here, and you can see that it's holding about 1/10,000th. And if I go here to the outside, you see it's about 5 or 6 10,000ths. But I don't know if you can see that. 5 or 6. Get down here to where I turned it. It's running 1,000th or 1/10,000th. I think that's pretty good. Of course, I've still got this stuff. You can see that the gibs are not set right. It's really loose. This is a little better, but that's really not too bad. I'll try it on a piece of brass and see what that looks like. Well, the brass, it's about the same. I'm getting about 1/10,000th. Maybe 2. I've got a pretty sharp tip there, so I'm actually not too displeased with that. Yeah, see, if I turn it by hand, I'm getting 1/10,000th. That's probably pretty good. I don't know what it'll do over a length. I had a nice big 18-inch LeBlanc. Sold it. This is big enough for what I gotta turn. And I gave away a lot of my stuff I should have kept. I need to have another dial indicator, and I do have all my Morse 2 tapers that'll fit in this thing. So I got my drills and hones, and I don't have a live center, and I'm going to need that. But anyway, so far the little lathe seems to be good enough. It'll be better once I adjust all the gibs and stuff. But it's in and it works, so good enough for now. Another update on the mini lathe. It's gone. It just quit working on me, and so I packed it up and I managed to get it out of here, and I ordered another one. It's 42 inches. It's a 7 by 26 inch lathe. So it's coming tomorrow. So I built this shelf here. This is I don't know what it is, 1.25 inch particle board. Got Formica on both sides, and I just put it here and just temporarily put legs on it. It's level, and so I'm going to put a bigger lathe on it, and hopefully it won't die on me before I get anything done. I tore down part of my shelf up there to make my mailbox. But anyway, mailbox is up, and I got a new lathe table, and I've got a path here. So tomorrow we'll have a lathe in here, and we'll see what happens then. Alright, I'm going to do a little video here. I've got this MX 600A lathe. It's 8.5 by 26 or something. I got it, it wouldn't even turn over. So I'm going to show you how to set this up. The headstock was so tight it wouldn't move at all. I checked this already. You can see this is a 1/2 thousandths. It's not really focusing, but it's not moving at all. And this is after I set it up myself. See if I can change this light. There we go. You can see this is not showing any end play at all, but I don't know if you can hear it, but it's clunking in there. I think this is where the bearings are hitting. Should have taper roller bearings in it, and I'm going to take it apart, lubricate it, and put this thing back together. I've got it where it does run. Surprisingly, the headstock is good here, but I'm going to take off these this locking nut and adjusting thing here. That should give me to be able to get my gears off, and I'm going to see if I can get this apart down to the bearings and take a look at it. Alright, what I've done here, I've taken this back off and all the gears and everything. I don't see anything inside of here that would be holding it. I'm not exactly sure how those gears are put in there. I've still got a clunky spot in it, but I've taken a wooden block and a hammer and knocked this all the way in. Let me do that again. I don't know if this camera's gonna set up. Probably not. Maybe that's showing you. But I've just knocked that in as far as I can get it. And then I'm going to set my little dial here right on 0. There we go. Anyway, that's on 0. And now I'm going to take my board again and whack it over here and see how much this is actually moving inside the headstock. Well, this light's really not showing anything. There it is. But you can see that it's about 4 thousandths that it moved. This is end play in this thing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drive it back in, and I'm going to put my bearings on it back here and snug them up and get it where it still turns free. Alright, I've got this this thing set here. Now I'm going to take like a pry bar. I'm putting it in here and I'm prying, and it's moving about a half a division, maybe a whole division, and this is a half a thousandth. So I've got this of course this has probably been in this metal a little, and if I turn it, it's not moving at all again, maybe a half a thousandth. So I put this locking ring on it, I tightened it up until I've got half a thousandths, and I can still move it. It feels pretty good. And now then I'll just put my this ring here on it, and this locks it in place. So I've got basically a half a thousandth of end play in it. I don't know what it's supposed to be set at. Video they showed me, the guy just knocked it in with a big iron bar and tightened it up until he grunted and locked it. But it is turning, and I'm not really getting any in play here. I get some if I go back and forth on it. Don't know exactly what that is, but I've set it to 1/2 thousandth in play. I'm going to go ahead and put it back together and see what it gets when I turn it on. Alright, I've got it here in the lathe running. I put all this stuff back on and tightened it, and I'm showing about I can't hardly see this gauge, a half a thousandth is about what it's bouncing around, and that's probably within the machining tolerance of this thing. And it's so it ran up to 1900 RPM. The best I could get out of it before was 17. So looks like my adjustment here was a success. I got a couple more little tests here once I put the chuck on, and we'll see what our radial in play, or up and down and side to side play is. Alright, I got my gears back on. I used their little certificate of authenticity here, cheap Chinese paper, so I doubled it, and I used that to set the gap on the gears. Running pretty quiet. Running 1900 RPM, and this says it's supposed to go 0 to 1500. So I got it to run 400 RPM faster than her specs. It's all good. Next thing I'll do is check this run out on this chuck again, see what it is. Well, it's bouncing around there. Looks like about a 1/2 thousandth. So that's pretty good machining. My guard keeps falling down and hitting stuff. So it's got a little rough spot in there, but basically a 1/2 thousandth is run out. That's pretty good machining for basically anything, but especially for a cheap Chinese lathe. We'll see what the run out here in the 3-jaw is. It's an arbor out of my milling machine. It's sticking out here about 8 inches, and it looks like about 8 or 10 thousandths travel here on the end. Much better in there. Let me try something a little better than that arbor. Well, here's a little polished shaft. Looks like it's about 5 thousandths, which is not real super good. So this chuck is not entirely accurate. It was better before I took it off and put it back on. I might have a little piece of dirt or something in it, but at least it's running 5 thousandths. Probably acceptable, not the best, but acceptable. Let's see if I can find something a little better than that. Here's a little center finder, which I know is straight, and it's running about 3 or 4 thousandths. So that's a consensus. It looks like this chuck is running about 5 thousandths. It's not that big a deal for what I'm using it for, and it's not a real high quality lathe. I don't know what it'll do in reverse, probably the same. Oh, that's just a feed. So 5 thousandths is good enough. Next thing I do, I think I'm going to take off this stuff here and see what I can find out about these gears in here. Oil them up, but I think we're probably good enough for this right now. It's turning good, and like I said, I managed to get the lathe over 1900, so 400 RPMs faster than it's designed to go. I think that's good enough success.